Welcome to Live, Life-Inspired Views for Every Day. My name is Chris Meyer, and I'm a curious soul. Next week will be 1 year since I started this podcast. It was on the 5th podcast that I started embedding the message to put it on your bathroom mirror. So I thought I would review those adages these next few weeks to celebrate the 1st anniversary of the podcast. So let's begin the reminiscence. Over the year, I have shared this quote from Frances Hodgson Burnett several times. She said, "We learn things by thinking about them and saying them over and over until they stay in our minds forever." Well, I love New Year's resolutions. And one of mine this year is to make a journal of all these bathroom mirror quotes. And just maybe, with enough repetition, they will stay in my mind forever. Want to join me on that quest? So let's begin. The first bathroom mirror quote made its entrance for the first time on February 20th. The 5th podcast. That quote said, "Write your philosophy of life in a breath. To remind yourself every day of your purpose. Put it in one sentence that thing that gives you breath. Then live it." Mine is, "I live to be a bridge builder." What's yours? Quote number 2. Put a picture of you on your bathroom mirror to remind yourself that you are enough. Quote number 3, when you focus on the good gets better. That, my friends, is one that, if practiced enough, can become a habit. It takes discipline, but makes life so much more worth living. Quote number 4, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. I think that Viktor Frankl was the one who said that. And oh my, isn't it easier to complain how others should change than to look within to see if it is we who might need some changing too? What situation might you be dealing with right now where that little nugget might be the magic way to make things better? Quote number 5, we can endure to the other side of fear. This was in reference to the story of Sir Ernest Shackleton, whose 1914 attempt to cross the Antarctica in a ship failed. He was determined to get his crew home alive over 1,000 miles of frozen ocean in 3 small lifeboats. Through the tremendous suffering they endured. That story was my anchor during COVID. What is your anchor story? Quote number 6, what are your white hyacinths? Elbert Hubbard wrote, "If I had but 2 loaves of bread, I would sell one of them and buy white hyacinths to feed my soul." So, what feeds your soul? Or who feeds your soul? Quote number 7, believe the best. What 3 to 4 word phrases can you find to repeat often that will affect your attitude? Quote number 8. That was my email address. In that podcast, I talked about the wounds that we carry and encouraged you to find someone who will listen to your story that will help you acknowledge the pain and allow healing to begin. That frees us, and I'll help you find that person if you need. Quote number 9, what do you want people to say of you? Reflecting on the movie Secondhand Lions, I told about the eccentric uncles in the movie and that they died. In the movie, the nephew is said of them, "Yes, they really lived." Quote number 10, the Desiderata. Google the word Desiderata and you'll find a guideline how to live a deeply meaningful life. Quote number 11, notice the invisible. Remember the poem I shared by Gary Soto. In it, he described himself as invisible, but said that he responds to love. Or do you remember me telling about Dorothy, the woman who sweeps the floors of the university, who lives unnoticed? Well, this year, will you join me in working hard to really see people? And quote number 12, mind the gap, or from peeved to poised, or rule number 6. Each of these stories remind us that we have the freedom to choose our reaction. We can intentionally condition ourselves to respond wisely, calmly, and with integrity. This is so important for our inner being and for those looking up to us as leaders, parents, or fellow human beings. I was sharing this podcast plan to review the bathroom mirror quips with in the next few podcasts with our daughter Maria. And she said, "If all these are on your bathroom mirror, how will you see yourself?" Put that wise question on your bathroom mirror this week. Join me next week for Live, life-inspired views for every day. I'm Chris Meyer, and I'm a curious soul.